look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How bold is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even come to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you are my friend. And yes, we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without our world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. And I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Sunday service meditation. Please take a moment to find a comfortable position for you to rest in, and slowly start closing your eyes. Breathing in and out, and bringing your awareness to your heart center. Feel the gentle, steady rhythm of your heartbeat, a reminder of the life force within you that is eternally connected to the life force of your twin flame. Visualize a golden light in your heart, warm and radiant. This light represents the love and connection you share with your twin flame. See it growing brighter with each breath, expanding outward to fill your entire being with warmth and love. Now, imagine this golden light reaching out beyond your body, extending towards your twin flame. Even if you are physically apart, know that your soul is always connected by this unbreakable bond. See the light wrapping around the two of you, forming a protective bubble that shields you from all external challenges. As you sit within this bubble of light, focus on the concept of persistence. On the twin flame journey, you may face challenges that test your faith, your patience, and your resolve. But know that each challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger in love, to deepen your connection, and to bring you closer to union. Repeat silently now to yourself, I am persistent in my journey. I trust in the divine plan. Each challenge is a step closer to union. I release all fear, doubt, and resistance. I am love. I am light. I am union. Allow these affirmations to sink deeply into your being. Feel the truth of these words resonate within your heart. Knowing that persistence is not just about enduring, but about embracing every experience with love and understanding. Now, visualize the golden light in your heart merging with that of your twin flame, forming a single, radiant flame that symbolizes your union. See this flame growing stronger, burning away all obstacles and lighting the path ahead. Take a few more deep breaths, feeling the energy of this meditation integrate into your being. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you, everyone, and namaste.
Hello everyone, welcome to your Church of Union Sunday service card reading. My name is Anna. I'm going to be using the Soul's Journey deck by James Van Praagh today. I have pre-shuffled and pre-selected 3 cards for our reading. Today's sermon with Kenesha is about persistence. And I couldn't believe how perfect these 3 cards were when they just popped out while I was shuffling. Our first card is acceptance. It says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Something I've realized on my twin flame journey and just moving about life, choosing to heal myself and choosing a more loving life for myself, is that I always first have to accept the thing that I want to change. And also, in order to receive more love, the thing that I want the most, more peace, the thing that I also want the most, is to accept and have gratitude for the love that I I'm already receiving. So acceptance enables us to be able to look at the thing that we don't like and then move through it. This requires a lot of persistence sometimes. But we first must accept that it is happening so we can even see the thing that we are being called to persist through at that time. I also feel like this is very much about self-acceptance. Self-acceptance and persisting in your self-acceptance. Many of us probably feel as though it's a little difficult to accept ourselves, especially whenever we are maybe just learning about the teachings of union, and maybe we don't really realize how divine and perfect we are yet. But it requires persistence to accept yourself. So whenever you are finding a place that you aren't fully accepting yourself and loving yourself, it's so important to continue to persist through that lack of self-acceptance so that you can have the self-acceptance that you will then see mirrored to you in your whole life. Our next card is change. This one says, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Change maybe feels a little bit scary sometimes, but this is another place where persistence is required and also trusting and acceptance that change is safe. It's safe to persist into the change that we desire as well. Kenesha talks about how persistence is required to manifest the life of your dreams. Maybe you are trying to manifest your harmonious twin flame union and you're looking for change in your twin flame union. Well, you have to have persistence in order to actually experience and manifest that change that you are desiring. So change is safe, and it's safe to persist. Maybe a change that you don't like is happening. It's safe to persist through that as well into the change that you are desiring. Our third and final card is discipline. This one is so valuable. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Yeah. So it's really like discipline, persistence, they're very kind of similar to one another. There is required discipline in order to persist. Discipline is required in order to move through the things that you don't like. Discipline is required to have the things that you do want. So it's okay to persist. Maybe it is getting up every morning and getting a workout in. Maybe it's persisting in your self-acceptance and having discipline with how you are talking to yourself. Discipline is the thing that actually gets you what you want. It's not there to quash your fun and to cause you to feel stuffy and not have joy in your life. Discipline actually offers you freedom. So it's okay to persist in having that discipline for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's Church of Union Sunday service.
Hello everyone, I am Manuela Perez and I'm very happy to be here again to introduce another Sunday sermon by Kenesha. So yeah, I watched the sermon and of course it was the perfect message as always. It touched my heart perfectly for what I'm going through and definitely like a big lesson on my twin flame journey. I guess the point I really want to like introduce the sermon with is like one of the LPC quotes is like, do or do not, there's no try. If you never give up on your dreams, like they will come true, whatever that dream may be. I know for a long time on my spiritual journey, when I started doing the mirror exercise, Ascension coaching, of course, when you start going that deep into love, challenges will come up. I know on my journey, a lot of like my dreams were like to overcome this block. Like I really want to overcome this block. Like I would talk to God. I'm like, God, this is like my humble dream. Like get me past this block that seems so difficult, so big and like unsurmountable. Like get me through it. And my experience, I've gotten through every super challenging, insurmountable block. Like in the moment you feel like this is never gonna go away. Like I don't see myself on the other side of this. I don't see the light of the tunnel here, basically. And, you know, here I am on the other side of the tunnel, and I'm very happy about it because I never gave up on myself. And when you never give up on yourself, it builds a lot of trust with yourself. Like you're like, wow, like I got through this challenge, or I got through that challenge, and I didn't give up on myself, even though it was so difficult, so challenging, you know, and I felt like it was never gonna end. Here I am on the other side of it, which I prayed to God that I would be, you know, and that builds a lot of trust, you know, with yourself and with God. And yeah, that builds like a lot of strength and courage and like grit, fortitude. Because I know something Shaleia touches on is on the twin flame journey, you need to have grit. You need to have grit because it's going to be hard. Sometimes it's going to be very challenging. That's why persistence, which is something that Kanisha touches on, is so important, because you have to be willing to see it through. You have to be willing to see the challenges through and say, I trust the process, God. I'm not in a loop. I'm not on a hamster wheel. As I keep healing, things do change. And I am worthy of the love it takes to love myself through this block, because there's really no other way, you know? It's like I either cross this block or I stay stuck in it, and I don't choose to stay stuck in any block. So yeah, so I guess the main point of what I'm trying to get across, Jeff and Shaleia recently posted a quote where it was like, you know, a lot of like the greatest spiritual growth you'll go through is when you're going through really deep challenges. And sometimes that, I mean, I would say most of the time feels really bad. I'm sure many of us on the spiritual twin flame journey have been through a block that is like, oh my God, this is scary. This might be the one that gets me, but we're all here because we never gave up, and we built a lot of strength and yeah, fortitude. Like the challenges really do bring you somewhere, and they are gifts. Like Jeff and Shaleia always talk about, like they are gifts. Like when an upset come up, a trigger come up, it's a gift because you get to love yourself there, and somewhere that you've never loved yourself. That's a gift. Like I know that I'm on the other side of lots of spiritual challenges, quite a few that have been more significant, and I'm very proud of myself for never giving up. Yeah, like one that I thought was gonna be there forever was like I had like one of those annoying third parties in the union, and you know, I got to a certain point where I was like, you know what? I choose to have compassion for my twin flame person at the time. I choose to love him unconditionally. I choose to have compassion for him. I choose to accept the situation, and I choose to be happy now, no matter what. I'm with God, and it doesn't matter how long it takes to continue to heal this. I don't care, because I choose to be with God. I choose to be happy. I choose to simply accept and have compassion for what I'm going through right now, for what he's going through. And, you know, and I, you know, worked through my biggest fear of what that was, and I had an honest conversation with my twin flame person at the time, and I was like, instead of running or getting upset and running the other way, I decided to like cross through that valley and yeah, like learn the lesson there, like learn the lesson versus continuing the same pattern. And, you know, then a few days later, literally like a few days later, my true twin flame revealed himself to me. he revealed himself to me, and then a few days after that we came into union, and now I'm in union. So, you know, that's just, I guess, like a testament to the work that Jeff and Shaleia know what they're talking about. You got to just love the situation completely. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You know, for me, it took like over 2 years to completely heal that block. You know, that was like a big challenge for me on my journey, but I overcome it. And when you heal something completely, you don't need to keep going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be new challenges that come up, new blocks that could come up, new things to be healed, you know? You're not stuck in the same hamster wheel like forever. So, well, I'm very grateful to be able to share that experience with you, my story with you, and, you know, have the opportunity to talk on this Sunday service. And I invite y'all to tithe to the Church of Union at unionism.org. You know, that helps us really spread the word of these teachings and get it out there to the whole world. Everyone deserves to have these teachings. You know, it's a beautiful life we're creating for ourselves with these wonderful teachings of union. So yeah, I will see y'all after the sermon, and I hope y'all enjoy.
Hello everyone, I am Kanisha, and thank you for joining me today for our Sunday service. I will be your minister today, and we will begin with our 3 opening ohms and our opening prayer. You may join me either out loud or in your heart. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word. Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. So today I wanted to speak with you on how truly important persistence is on this journey. And I have found by moving through every block and upset that could possibly come up in my life, whether it's around my twin flame union or my life purpose, anywhere within my ascension journey, I've had to really make the choice to persist through everything that comes up. And so I wanted to start off by sharing what persistence is in the book of Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover. And it says on page 131 in the first edition of this book, persistence is in choosing to be with your twin flame, coupled with the promise of honesty, trust, and commitment to your twin flame, you will have an unstoppable foundation to your harmonious union. In order for your union to truly be unstoppable, you need other ingredients. This ingredient is the engine behind an unstoppable union: persistence. Persistence is what keeps you trucking forward even though when you're extremely and obscenely upset. Persistence is what pushes the next obstacle off the path. Persistence is the juice that says, I'm going to keep going forward and investing in my union anyways. Even when you're faced with the same roadblock again and again and again, you're having thoughts of giving up on yourself and your twin flame. Persistence is an important key to a truly unstoppable union. If you don't have persistence in your union, it might not have grown very much at all, if ever. We might get stuck in patterns or quit after our commitment period was over. If I didn't have persistence, my union may not have had the energy to continue through the upsets. And I'm going to leave that right there. And so when I read this, I recognized that the only one who can choose to move through any block and upset is myself. I can't look to my twin. I can't look to any other person in my reality. I have to make the choice to fully move through whatever is coming up. And whatever is coming up, I had to also recognize that it's truly important to not attach to the pattern, the upset or the block that is coming up, because it's coming up for my good. It's coming up to be released and to be cleared because I'm calling in deeper abundance and love in that space. And so what I had found early on in my journey was that I would attach to the upset, and I would then start to judge myself and shame myself that it was coming up, instead of recognizing that it was coming up just to be loved in that space. And so in order to have an unstoppable union in life, many people will try to do those things on the outside. They will try to fix it or change it on the outside. And what I have learned is that 80% of the work is inner work, and 20% of it is divine guided action. And when I started using that formula, I started to see things shift very quickly, because I was actually changing my reality from within instead of trying to change the outside first to make me feel better inwardly. But the truth is that you have to feel better inwardly in order to change the outside. And so as I started to really look at places where I had ultimately allowed the block to stop me from fully committing to myself or pursuing through the upset and truly getting to a place of peace and love, I found that I started to really give up on myself in certain places, because I thought that if I couldn't persist through, then it just wasn't going to happen. But in truth, the only way that I can actually fail is by truly giving up on myself. And that is truth for everyone. You can only fail by giving up on you and not allowing yourself to fully move through what's coming up. When you fully move through it, you will find that there's only love on the other side of that block or upset. And so it comes to making a commitment to persisting through anything that comes up for you. And I found that the way that we grow is by going to God for these experiences that you're having. Every upset that you're having is an upset with God. And so this required me to persistently go to God. And at first that was very uncomfortable. That was something that felt foreign to me. I didn't know if I was doing it correctly or right in any kind of way. I just kind of had to flow with it and go with my intuition and watch how my gurus had their relationship with God and really start to cultivate my own relationship with God. And I recognized that the blocks that were coming up were opportunities for me to grow deeper in my relationship with God. So instead of fearing them, I started to embrace them. And I started to recognize that I wasn't moving through these upsets alone. I was moving through them with God. And that gave me the strength and the power to persist through them, knowing that these blocks were just invitations of going deeper with God, myself, and my union. And I had to really start to believe that everything that was coming up was for my highest good, not to stop me, not to make me not believe in myself. It was ultimately the absolute opposite. And so one of the things that I had to move through on my ascension journey was this belief that I didn't have a twin flame. And this was because I felt like I was always continuously moving through blocks and upsets and having to really work through dissolving the barriers of love, or barriers to love, that I had. And I had to be really honest with myself about how I felt about love. And so there was a moment, a good long moment in my journey, where I truly believed that I did not have a twin flame, or that God forgot about me. I remember saying this quite a bit because there was a period of time where it seemed like everyone who knew who their twin flame was except for me. And so I felt like I should just give up. I don't have a perfect partner. Like, I'm not deserving of love or worthy of love. And it wasn't until I watched the attraction course, the romance attraction course, and Shaleia was talking about really choosing to see your life the way that you wanted it to, assume it into being. And I had heard this term before, but the way that she described it really clicked to me. She mentioned assuming your life the way that you desire it to be, no matter what the 3D was showing you. And so I had to trust that if I was brought to this work and I was drawn to it and I had a desire for my twin flame, that God had created me with a twin flame. And so it was going to persist through these doubts and these fears that were coming up for me. And I had to let go of this belief that I was unlovable. I had to let go of this belief of abandonment. And that required deep layers of inner work and doing the mirror exercise many, many times. And then eventually I got to this place where I was just like, if it's just me and God, it's going to be just fine. I'm going to be okay. And then very quickly, my true twin flame started to be revealed to me. However, I was not happy about who I thought my true twin flame was. And when God started to reveal this to me, I had to persist through the blocks that were coming up because I truly did desire my true twin flame, but it was coming and unfolding in my life in a way that I couldn't control. And I was having a hard time at first persisting through working through these blocks or these beliefs that I had in my mind. And I had to trust God in this space. That's really what, for me, persistence has become, is trusting God and persisting and choosing God and allowing God to lead me and allowing God to show me what I can't see because I'm not God. And so I had to get to this place of feeling like I could do anything. I could move through anything. I could accomplish anything, but I had to have that commitment with myself and move through anything that came up. And that was very uncomfortable because I really hadn't committed to myself in a way that I desired until I got clear that I was on the Ascension journey and that I truly wanted to heal all of my core upsets and all of my traumas. And so I got to this place of not needing anything or needing anyone and choosing to really focus on God and his plan. And I knew that if I was persistent in that, that I was going to have many things unfold for me that I couldn't even put together. And so I had to realize that no one was coming to save me, including my twin flame. And that again, I was the only one who could work through these blocks that were coming up. And when I did that, it then again came back to not attaching to the blocks or the upsets and not attaching to how they came up or occurred. Because I found that in my journey, sometimes blocks will come up through me. Sometimes it'll come up through my twin flame. And it's very easy to attach or take personally what's coming up. And so one of the things that I had to truly do is let go of attachment to how things unfolded. I had to at least release attachment to the outcomes. I had to release attachment to how God was showing me this lesson and trusting that it was to draw me closer to him. And so I started to recognize how I could see why there would be times where people would move through an upset in the community and then they would choose to ultimately abandon themselves and leave. And it's because these upsets and these blocks can feel really bad. They can feel really yucky. But what I am grateful for is that this community is really the safest place for me to look at those blocks and those upsets and for them to be revealed and to truly bring unconditional love into that space. And it's encouraged to look at those things and to really move through them, because we all know that on the other side of it is love. On the other side of it is peace. And so don't ever let an upset or a block keep you from building the life that you desire, keep you from achieving your dreams and your goals, keep you from pursuing your life purpose or your ultimate lover. And having to really recognize that you are created to move through those things and ascend to God. You are created to become the best version of yourself. But that doesn't happen just overnight. that is going to be a process. And it's like God putting pressure on you in these places to really create you into the diamond that you're supposed to be. And so one of the things that I wanted to share were the 4 things that I had to choose on this journey in order to persist through anything that came up and really get to these places of peace and harmony within my life. And so the first one was I had to do the work. I had to do the mirror exercise and write it out. I had to be in my classes and watching Twin Flame Ascension School. And I needed to work with an Ascension coach on a weekly basis. That's personally for me on my journey. That might be a little different for you, but for me, that is what I was really called to do. And that helped me be accountable for myself and to create stability for myself, and also to give myself the structure that I needed to move through these deep upsets that would come up. The second thing was I had to make a commitment to move through every single block that came up, whether it was just me or that it was coming up through my union. I found that it's a little bit more intense sometimes when it comes up through my union. And so I had to make the choice to move through all of the things that came up, because my natural, not my natural instinct, but my previous block and pattern was to run from conflict, was to run away from anything that felt like it could hurt me. And so I ultimately had this massive fear of abandonment, and I wouldn't allow love near me because I was afraid it was going to leave me. But in truth, I was leaving me, and that's why I was experiencing abandonment. And so I made a commitment to work through every single block that came up, no matter how big or small it was. I knew that it was just a block that I was having with God. The third thing was I had to be grounded in knowing that my twin flame is my ultimate teacher first. And I know that a lot of us will come into this community wanting to have our ultimate lover and the ultimate best friend and the ultimate partner, but in truth, they're your ultimate teacher first. And when I really started to ground this understanding and knowing, things started shifting for me very quickly. I went from what is my twin flame showing me and thinking that I had to judge myself or that I wasn't doing something right or that I wasn't healing enough, to what is my twin flame mirroring to me about my relationship with God in order for me to come closer to God. And when I started operating in that way, things started to really shift very quickly in my union as well. And then last but not least, releasing attachment to how things came up and persisting through the upset, no matter what it looked like on the outside. I chose for my inner peace to be my priority. And I really made the choice that that was my natural state of being. That's what we're told in this work, is that our natural state of being is peace. And so if I wasn't feeling peace, that meant that I had a work to do, and that it was safe for me to really move through that till I got to that state. Whether it took me 5 minutes or sometimes it would take me an hour to really move through many layers of the mirror exercise. But I found that it was always worth it. And then there would always be a reward from doing that, whether it was communication from my twin flame or abundance in some type of way or money coming in. Whatever it was, I was always rewarded, not only through my inner peace, but by movement in my reality. And the other thing that I also had to make a choice in was that I was healing for myself. I wanted to be persistent in becoming the best version of myself. And that's going to be a journey, but that is a daily choice that you have to make. And so when I chose to release attachment to what my journey looked like and really chose to pursue my inner peace and choose that on a daily basis and really pursue loving me unconditionally and ultimately becoming my own ultimate best friend and lover, I really got to this place where, and I'm still working on it, this place where I'm not looking for this validation or reassurance outside of myself, and really having to relax into what God has for me and God's plan and God's timing. And I'm recognizing that when I choose God's will for myself, those things just naturally unfold very quickly. I don't have to do the heavy lifting work. I just do my inner work, and God takes care of the bigger things. So I wanted to share a Bible verse with you that had came up for me, and this is going to be Galatians 5:6-5 through 6:10. Be generous and do good. Let him who is taught the word share in all good things with him who teaches. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit will reap everlasting life. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Therefore, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith. And so for me, what I received from that was that I was choosing to do this work to serve God, to bring glory to God, and to really come closer to God, because he is my ultimate love. He is my number one relationship and priority. And I was choosing to do that for my relationship with God, not for the rewards that I get, not for my just getting my twin flame, not getting just the relationship that I wanted. It was that I was recognizing that everything that I was actually seeking in all of those things, I was seeking God. And so when I truly started to do this work to be with God, that is when I started to really have faith, because I could see movement in my reality. I could see things that I couldn't even put together myself start to form and manifest into my physical reality. And so I had to recognize that if I was choosing to do this for my love of God, I was going to reap and sow the things that I put in, the work that I put in, the effort that I put in. But it got to a place where it was just being in my love for God and being in God's love for me. And that ultimately is enough. It really fulfills your cup. And when you're fulfilling your cup in that way, it overflows into others. And so having faith on your journey and pursuing and persisting through all blocks is going to allow you to see that you are unstoppable. You have an unstoppable union. You have an unstoppable God. And you will find that things naturally unfold in your highest good and for your favor. And so I invite you to really have faith in being able to see the life that you desire, and trust that it's coming to fruition. Trust that the work that you're doing is going to bear fruit, and that you are, again, persisting through having all these blocks that are coming up, and in truth, they are working in your favor to help you become the best version of you, to help you align with love and harmony, to align with God and your harmonious union. And so I feel that if you really allow yourself to commit to persistence, that you will recognize how incredibly strong and resilient you are, and that you can absolutely manifest anything that you desire in your life. And I'm going to finish with just sharing the story of watching my gurus persist through a really big block that they had. And it was a very emotional block, and that was conceiving their baby girl, Grace. And they moved through many emotional blocks of coming to this place. But watching them move through that and persist through everything that came up, feeling all the feelings, moving through their feelings of feeling like maybe we misheard God, or maybe God's plan changed, but they knew in their heart what their desire was, and they knew that they were going to choose to align to God's will. And when it was time, and naturally, Grace was conceived, and she is here with us now. And so for me, that was really a testimony of how important it is to walk in faith and to continue pursuing your ascension journey, continue pursuing your relationship with God, and knowing that you can persist through anything that occurs. So I hope this gives you faith and courage to keep moving forward, and know that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and that you are loved and chosen and wanted and divine, and that ultimately any desire that you have in your heart, God put that there for you, and that He is going to be your ultimate partner in creating that into your reality. And so I feel complete here. Let's go ahead and close with our closing prayer and our closing ums. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor you, your will in my life, and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teachings is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teachings with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means that you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you have a beautiful and blessed Sunday.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that sermon. I know I did. It was a wonderful sermon. And she really hit like a very key point. Of course, it's in the book. Like what stood out to me the most was persistence. Yeah, persistence is so important on this twin flame journey, the spiritual journey, especially the twin flame journey, I would say. Because you're going to come across blocks where you're like, what the heck? What the heck? You know? And it's going to feel like you're just mirroring the same thing over and over again, over and over again, over and over again for years or months or however long it takes. And you're going to be like, God, I'm not seeing the light here. What is going on? But as you persist through the blocks, will like heal this one. You're going to heal this one, right? You just have to persist and persist and persist and persist. Because what else are you going to do? You know, that's like something that had invited me into invest into Twin Flame Ascension School. Yeah, Daniel and Christina. So I know I remember one thing that they told me in the first intro session when they were selling Twin Flame Ascension School to me was like, the time is going to pass anyway, right? The time is going to pass anyway. Like life, like as you transfer into like a new vortex, like what Jeff and Shaleia always say, like the work stays the same. You just keep persisting through whatever blocks come up, and that's just so important. And another thing that Kanisha said that really hit home was, you know, we're on a journey of becoming like the best version of ourselves, and it's a process. Like it's not going to happen overnight. Like you can't expect to do one mirror exercise and be completely healed of twin flame separation forever. Like no, that's just not going to happen for like 99% of people. Like 99.9% of people. Like it's a journey. It's a process of becoming the best version of yourself, of becoming mastered in whatever you're doing, you know. Like, yeah. So I hope this message resonates with you, and I am very happy to be here as always, and I invite y'all to tithe to the Church of Union at unionism.org so we can continue to spread this message with the world. And I also invite y'all to check out all of our previous sermons at unionism.org or at our YouTube channel, Church of Union. I also invite you guys to join us in the Unionism Spiritual Discussion Group for After Church Tea Time, where we continue and discuss this topic with fellow Unionists on a live Facebook feed. I hope y'all have an amazing Sunday. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your week. And yeah, blessings to everyone on their twin flame journey. Thank you.